Hey all blendies, welcome back to Blender's Review, also welcome to the newcomers. So, today I'm gonna bring you back to one of the older figure that was available back then in like 2000, early 2000. I think this was released in 2004. This is Toybiz William Birkin figure from Toybiz back then, and this has to be one of my most favorite figure that I ever own in my entire horror collection. And I had this guy for a bit over a year now, and I'm truly glad that I finally decided to review this guy. This guy was all the way at the backside of my shelf, and I always really wanted to share this figure with you. So here it is anyway. So this figure originally comes with Sherry Birkin, from what I remember. I don't have Sherry Birkin, nor the box of this guy either. I just got this guy as it is, secondhand from this amazing eBay seller back then, for about like $50 like more than over a year ago, and that is such a good price to get for this guy. Here it is. Why don't we get to the sculpting first, as we usually do? Here we have William Birkin over here. And yeah, let's have a closer look. We have the nicely painted eye in red, all these, whitewash over the face with all this flesh. Look at the detail, isn't that amazing? My favorite part and the most iconic part of this stage of William Birkin is the gigantic eyeball on his shoulder. And there's a really cool feature with this guy, so I'm just gonna show it to you in a bit after we go through all of the details. And you have the Williams head over here. He'll definitely looks like he's in pain. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And he got his ripped lab coat over here. It's quite impressive how lab coat even stays on his, attached to his arm even after he grew into this gigantic zombie, Look at that. Look at that, G. Birkin. And this part, tiny bit, it's actually made in soft cotton. So, unlike this part, where the lab coat is made out of entire plastic piece, this tiny part isn't. So, a small detail, but quite funny as well, considering how this entire section is made out of hard plastic. Still really cool. The teeth is done really nicely as well. The flesh, look at that. And under at the stomach section, see another flesh. Look at the gigantic eyeball. Love that. Look at the detail over here. That is very impressive. And yeah, his arm is really nicely done as well. Much smaller hand compared to the other side, where it's hella gigantic. Look at that. Amazing for its time being, and really nicely painted. Look at that. Really cool. And you see all the wrinkles at the inside of the hand. The other side, gigantic claw. Look at that. Love that detail over here. Really love this figure, honestly. Well, the pants are quite nicely done as well. Quite disgusting and disturbing as well. You see his veins, all the muscles that's exposed with no skin. It's also quite impressive how the pants managed to stay on there, even after he turned into this gigantic G-virus monster. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. The backside as well, really impressive. Another eyeball over here. The spine, look at that. Love the detail of the spine on this thing. The lab coat is it's more on the clean side, surprisingly. The backside of the head, you see his exposed brain at the back of the head. The gigantic eyeball has a moving feature where you can move with this gigantic joystick looking kind of thing. So, I'm gonna show that to you in a bit. And again, really nicely done vein. Made in China. Wow, this is not made in early 2000s. It's made in 1999. Crap. That is one of my oldest figure in my entire collection. One of my oldest. Not the oldest, but it definitely is. I think the oldest figure that was manufactured from my entire collection was in early 60s, from what I remember. Or 70s. I think from 60s. Yeah, but this is still quite old. Very cool looking figure. And yeah, let's get to the articulation. Okay, so there's no head articulation or anything, nor the torso, nothing. There's a waist swivel. This Birkin's tiny arm moves up and down a bit. This gigantic arm moves forwards and backwards. Same goes to the other side. This one has a hinge though, so you can move it. No bicep swivel, but single jointed arm which moves about 90 degrees. No wrist swivel, nothing. This thing is supposed to have a swivel, but I super glued it because the time when I got this guy, it was in a condition where the plastic of the peg inside was stressed. It was about to fall off, so I just decided to super glue it back then, and now it's all good. And yeah, that's it for the articulation for the arms and the top side of this guy. The leg moves forwards and backwards for both sides, and that is it for the articulation, should I say. If what I'm going to talk about right now counts as articulation as well, maybe it does, but it's a really lovely gimmick. The best part of this figure is the fact that you can move this joystick kind of thing so that you can move the eyeballs inside. How cool is that? Look at that. You can move the eyeball in almost any direction you want. If you want to display it based on wherever you want the eyeball to be facing, I just let it be facing forward but looking downward. You got detail all the way inside anyway, so that is a really cool thing. I like to keep it at the bottom over here, which helps me to keep this guy straightened so that his pupils facing on the center, just like that. He is really a cool figure. If I have to give this guy out of 5 stars, I'm definitely giving it a 5-star. There could have been a better articulation for sure, but I mean, for its time being manufactured in 1999, and the fact that we didn't really have another William Birkin figure until now. Probably Patriot Studio might make one in the future, because their recently produced Nemesis figure from Patriot Studio was definitely an amazing figure of 2025 release. Definitely, for sure. If they manage to make this William Birkin figure as well, I'll definitely grab it from Patriot Studio again. But focusing on this guy again, Toybiz it still is my favorite manufacturer of all time. It's really unfortunate that it is gone now, but Toybiz, in my opinion, made a lot of really good figures, like superposable Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire one. Like really good Marvel stuff, really good Capcom stuff, like Resident Evil. They made really good stuff. Mr. X and things like that. Really lots of cool stuff that they have been releasing for its time being, and amazing quality. It still stands up till this date. It is such an amazing figure. If you ever manage to find this guy on eBay, I'm pretty sure there will be still a bunch of listings of this guy available. Go get it right now. You will definitely not regret getting it. So yeah, I think next review I'm gonna do a cult classic Leatherface, which might come up next week, and some Mezco stuff as well. MDS, Mezco Designer Series, some mega skill stuff coming up as well. So stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.
In blood first we trust, joy with every bust. Action figures in a row, bringing smiles as they glow. Superheroes on the shelf, each one made with love. Unboxing magic every week, happiness we always seek. Living in a toy land, blend for seeks our hand. Exploring every brand, action figures so grand.